In this video, I'm going to show you how to complete the PowerPoint Guided Project 1-2. But before we begin, I'd like to go over the resources that are necessary for this project. When you are downloading the instructions and the start file is what you see right here. You should have also been instructed to download what's called resources. These are files that you're going to use during this project. And there are a couple different ways to access these files. Let me show you where you can go for help if you're unsure about how to download the resources. Heading back to your SimNet main screen, there's a question mark in the upper right hand portion of the screen. It's the help button. Select it, then select SimNet Instant Help, Projects, and there's lots of information to help you. The thing that we're looking for here is extracting resource files. There's a short video and instructions to help you extract resource files. Let me show you how I do it on my computer, but please be mindful that on your computer or device it may be slightly different, so you'll want to access the SimNet Instant Help if you're unsure how to locate and prepare the files. Heading back to the main project page, one of the items that was downloaded was the resource bundle. Now I'm on Chrome, so my downloads appear here in the lower left, but if you're in a different browser, it may appear somewhere else. All of the downloads from my particular computer always go to what's called the downloads folder, so I'm going to find that folder. Then I'm going to search for items downloaded just today to help me sort through this. And I can see that one of the things that was downloaded today is a folder, and it has a little zip on it. If I right click that, it's going to allow me to get these files extracted or ready so I can use them. And one of the options is extract all. Then I click browse, and this is saying where do you want the extracted files to go. I'm going to put them right back here, but you could put them anywhere that you like. Extract. Then I'm just going to narrow down just today's items, and you can see that there's a folder. It looks very similar to the other one with the zipper, except it doesn't have a zipper. And if I double click in here, there are two different files that are available for me to use. Once again, if your computer device is set up differently than mine, please use the SimNet Instant Help to help you locate and prepare those files. Let's head back to PowerPoint and begin our presentation. Step 1A, open and resave the presentation. I've already opened up the start file right here. That's what you see right here. And if you see a yellow bar across the top that says enable editing, just double click it, and that will allow you to edit this particular presentation. Step 1B. It says that the file will be automatically renamed to include your own name in it, which is great. What that means is you really don't have to do anything here unless your instructor tells you to resave it with a different name. But if they don't tell you to do that, then you can just leave it as is. Step 2. Change the bullets. Step 2A. We need to display slide 2. So if you're brand new with PowerPoint, the slides that you have available in the presentation will show on the left-hand side. Right now it's on slide 1, but I need slide 2. Then it says select the bulleted text. Now you have to be very careful how you select the text in here. If you hover over anywhere near the image towards the right, you'll actually select the image. So you don't want to do that. So what I do is put my cursor over by the W and just select all of this text right here. Then it says, this is step 2C. Need to be on the Home tab here. Towards the center is the paragraph grouping. Then there's a drop-down button. It says Bullets and Numbering. I click on that, and it wants me to change the color and the size. So I click on color, and you have to be very careful. Make sure you only select Orange Accent 6. How do you know which ones are which? If you hover over the little tiles, it'll tell you. And I know where it is. It's Orange Accent 6 over to the right on my particular computer. Change the size to 90%. You could actually type 90 in there. I'm going to use a little down arrow. And then you need to click Customize. I click Customize. And now I come to this screen where I can change the fonts and the subset. So I simply scroll down until I see Times New Roman, click it, and then over to the right it says subset, and I need to find geometric shapes. And I select it. Next, I need to find the black right pointing pointer. Now you could hover over each one, click it, and it'll tell you exactly what it is. Here I know I can see some arrows right here, so I look at the right pointing one, and it says black right pointing pointer, and it also says the character code right here, so you know that it's 25BA. Then I click OK, OK, and I'm done with step 2. Step 3, reuse slides from another presentation. This is where having that resource downloaded on your computer will help you, because we need to open up another presentation and grab some slides from it. And this can be really handy if you're in school, to grab slides from one presentation and put them into another presentation. So step 3A, what we need to do is we're on slide 2 here, so we display slide 2, and then we click on new slide. I'm on the home tab, I click on new slide, and one of the choices is reuse slides. And then over on the right is the reuse slides area, and I have a choice. It says browse. I need to find the other presentation that was downloaded. I click browse file, and I need to locate the email content -01. Once again, I put everything in my downloads folder, but you may have put it somewhere else, and that's quite all right. Locate it. Here it is right here for me. You can either double click it or click it once and click open, and then 4 slides from that particular presentation will open up. And then how do you get them into this presentation that you're working in? Simply click on them. Start with the first slide, click once, it appears over here. Click the second slide, the third, and the fourth, and then exit out, and now you are ready to go. Step 4, it wants you to rearrange the slides in a particular order. And the order starts with getting results with email. In my particular example, it's already on top. If it wasn't, I can just hover over it, and with my left mouse, I can just drag it to wherever I want. But in this case, it's absolutely fine. The next step says, ask these questions. That one's correct for me. That's great. The third slide should be why. This is wrong. So what I do is I simply drag it up to the third spot. And you can see there's a little 3 right there, so it tells you that you're in the right spot. The fourth slide should be write a meaningful subject. I need to do a quick adjustment there. Line 5 should be organize it. And then, of course, the last one is keep it short. And that concludes step 4. Step 5, check the spelling. In most, if not all of the Microsoft programs, there's a spelling check option. So if you see a button called review, most likely the spelling check will be up there. So I click on review and then click on spelling. And what it wants you to do is go through and make sure that you spell check all the words. Now, whenever you're spell checking, there are several different options. You can ignore the particular word, maybe it's fine. You can ignore all instances of it. You can add it to the library. You can say change, hey, you want it to change to this, or you can say change all. Any instance that in this example it says response without the E and you want it to change the response with the E, you click change all and it'll change all. In this case, I'm just going to click change. I'm going to go through here. Please note that it says the spelling of email on slide 1 is correct, so you don't have to change that. If you did change it, it's okay, but there's no need to change it. So I'm just going to go through and spell check this entire presentation. I'm going to click ignore for email because it's fine. Then I'm going to continue changing the words that are misspelled. And once you're all done, it'll say spell check is complete. You are good to go. And that completes step 5. Step 6, use the format painter to change bullets. Now, the format painter is a really important feature because what you can do is anything that's formatted a particular way, you can simply say, hey, I'd like other things formatted that exact same way, and you can use the format painter to do that quickly and easily. So let me click off of the spell check and then start with 6A, and it says display slide 2. And select the body placeholder with the bulleted text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the bulleted text, kind of like we did in a previous step. And the reason why they want us to do this is because they want the bullets on other slides to look exactly like this. So if I head over to the Home tab, double click the format painter. By the way, clicking the format painter once will allow me to change the format of one other thing one time. If I double click it, I can keep using the format painter until I hit escape. And that's what they want us to do here. So double click the format painter, and then I'm going to press the page down button to get to slide 3. There's multiple ways to get to another slide. I'm going to follow the instruction and press page down, but you could simply click on it if you like. And now it says, apply the changes to all the first level bullets. The first level bullet is what you see here. This is a second level bullet, the smaller ones. I'm going to just highlight all of the first level bullets from people all the way down to brief. And I'm just holding my mouse and highlighting, and then when I release, you can see that things change just a little bit. It matches the format on the previous slide. Now this next step, step 60, is very important. Don't just move on to step 7. Make sure that you repeat for slides 4 and 5. So I'm going to press page down, and I'm going to highlight the first level bullets. Nice. Page down, slide 5. Just doing the first level bullets, not the smaller, lower level ones, the second level bullets. And when you're done with the format painter, you can see there's a little paintbrush near your cursor. That means the format painter is on. When you're done with that, simply press escape, and that'll get rid of the format painter, and you are now officially done with step 6. Step 7, change and position text. So I need to display slide 6. And it says the first thing to do is delete the picture on the right. This is easy. Click anywhere on the picture, click the delete button, boom, that slide or that picture is gone. 7B, it says select the subtitle text, keep it meaningful. So I click in here, and then you can see what's called the placeholder box. This is the box around it where they inputted the text, and they want us to shrink this box down so it fits just right around the text, because we're going to be doing some modifications in a moment. So what you can do is you can click on the little round circle towards the top or the bottom, and you should see an up and down arrow. And if you just grab that, you can then expand or shrink that placeholder text. And what I'm going to do, I know in a moment that I'm going to take this bit of information and put it over here. So I'm actually going to move this placeholder down, and you just have to play with this. If you hover around most areas on the edge, you should see this pointer, this unique pointer with pointers going in all directions. Once I see that, I can then drag with my left mouse, drag it anywhere that I like. So that completes step 7B. Step 7C, it says select the title text, keep it short, and change the font size to 24 point. So I click in here once, then I just highlight that text, head up towards the top, it's on the Home tab. It's very large, so I make sure that it's 24. And then it wants me to resize the placeholder to fit just right around the text. And once again, you just have to get the feeling for this. I'm grabbing the little circles, and it allows me to move it. I'm going to move it till it just fits. And that completes step 7C. 7D. It says place the title text above the subtitle text. So what I need to do is I can move it. Once again, if I grab the edge and I see this unique pointer here, I can move it anywhere I like. It says to put it above, keep it meaningful, and it also wants me to change the color of the text to black, text 1. So I highlight it, come up top here, and I change it to black. Next, it says select both placeholders. And this can be a little bit tricky depending on your device and the mouse that you have. So what I like to do is I will click the edge of a placeholder, hold down the control button, and then click inside the next one. And now I have both of them highlighted. So let me show you that again. I click inside the top placeholder, then I click on the edge. Then I press and hold down control. Then I click the one below it. And now both of them are highlighted. Next, it says click the Arrange button and align everything so it's right. So I'm on the Home tab here, and I can see it says Arrange. And what that does is it'll allow you to arrange multiple items all at once. I click Align, Align Right, and you can see how it moves over to the right. And that completes step 7. Step 8, insert and align a picture. Click the Insert tab, click Pictures, and this is where we're going to use one of the files that we downloaded in the very beginning. So I need to locate the resources. Once again, I knew I put everything in the Downloads folder. You may have put them somewhere else, and that's quite all right. Here's the folder. Click inside, and then here is the image. It's a person standing behind a computer. And it should appear somewhere towards the center of the screen, which is absolutely fine. They want us to align that to the left-hand side. Could we do it manually? Yes, but in this particular instance, they want us to use the tools that are available to us. So what I'm going to do is making sure that I'm on the Picture Tools tab. Make sure in the Picture Tools tab format, you should see over towards the right it says Align, and then it wants us to align left. And then it moves it over to the left, and we should be good to go with step 8. Step 9, apply one transition and effect option to all slides. So I'm clicking on the Transitions tab up top. And if you're unfamiliar with transitions, that means when you toggle from one slide to the next, it'll do a particular thing. We're going to show you what that is, but that's called a transition. It's a particular way that it moves from one slide to another. So it wants us to apply the switch transition, and I don't see it right here, so I need to expand our options out, clicking the little down arrow, and I can see that the switch option is right here. Just look over all the choices. Make sure you're on the Transitions tab. That's very important. Click Switch, and you can see how it switches. Then it says we want that to actually go to the left, not the right. So you click Effect Options, Left, and now it goes to the left. Lastly, this is 9D. It wants us to apply to all. So I click Apply to All, and notice over here, I haven't done it yet, that there's a star right next to slide 6. And that means there's some sort of animation. In this case, it's a transition. If I click Apply to All, I'm going to see a little star next to all of these. That means that there's a transition in between all of these slides. It applies a transition in between all of the slides in the presentation. And it's a fast way to do your entire presentation all at once. And that completes step 9. Step 10, preview the presentation. Click the slide sorter button in the status bar. You may ask yourself, what is the status bar they speak of? The status bar is in the lower right-hand portion of the screen. And there are several different options. You can hover over them and it'll tell you what they are. You have the reading view, the slideshow view, and of course the slide sorter view. The slide sorter view shows you all of the slides. It wants us to hold down the Control and the A button, and sometimes students get confused on this. Hold down the Control button. With it still held down, click A, and that selects everything. You can use this in most Microsoft products to select an entire set of things. In this case, it's selecting all of the slides. Next, it says click the preview button. That'll show us what it'll look like when you're actually using the presentation. And it'll just take a few seconds to go through it all. Next, it says click the first slide and click slideshow. So I've clicked it, and down on the right hand corner it says slideshow. I click it, give it a second, and it'll start slideshow, and it wants us to move through the slides to make sure that we know how everything looks. So there are several different ways that this can happen. You can hit the enter button, you can hit the right arrow, the down arrow, whatever makes you happy. Just toggle through the slides. When you get to the last one, it'll be blank. Just hit, in this case, I'm hitting the enter button one more time, and it'll get you back out to the main screen. However, if that didn't happen, you can click the escape button, and then that'll also get you back out to the main screen. And that completes step 10. Step 11, change presentation properties. Click on the file button in the upper left hand portion to get to the backstage view. Make sure it's on info. Then I click properties, advanced properties. And now be very careful where you type this information. The reason why I say that is because the comments button is down here. Make sure the very last one says type this presentation is for the new hire seminar. Make sure you type that in the comments area. But let's start from the top. Make sure you get the capitalization correct. Then I go down to the subject, author, put in your name. If maybe it's already there. Sometimes it defaults to being there. If it isn't, put your name there. And then in the comments area down here, type this is for the new hire seminar. I click OK, and that completes step 11. Step 12, print slides as a handout. In this step, it wants you to practice printing out slides. You won't actually physically have to print out your slides unless directed to do so by your instructor, because maybe you don't have a printer set up or paper or ink, whatever. But they want you to practice setting up your slides. So in the backstage view, and if you're not sure how to get here again, click File, Print, then you have lots of options. It says select the appropriate printer. And once again, if you don't have a printer hooked up, there's nothing to do here. But if you did, make sure it's on the right printer. Then it wants you to go down into the settings area and then make sure that you select each option. It says which slides to print. Print all slides. That defaults on printing all slides. But let's say you just wanted to print one slide or the current slide, you could do that. But we're going to leave it on print all slides. We're going to head down to what to print. And it wants us to select this. It's 6 slides horizontal. This is a handout. And you can see it's a handout right here. It says handouts and then 6 slides horizontal. And then it wants you to make sure that frame slides scale to fit paper is selected. They are in my computer, but if they weren't, you could just click it and there'll be a little check mark there. It wants you to select collate it, click out of that, and then collate it right here. Now, sometimes you won't see that. If you don't see that, that's okay. But if it's available, make sure it's on collate it. It wants you to make sure it's on portrait, which mine is. And then the color, it says select grayscale, but you could select color. That's completely fine. And then only print this if you're instructed to do so or if you want to do so. But this is a great way to put all of your slides onto one or just a few papers. Instead of printing out one entire slide per page, you can print multiple slides per page by using these different features and options right here. And that completes step 12. Step 13 has you close and save the presentation. So what you'll do is you'll save your presentation. Many different ways to save. Control S will work. You can hit the save button in the upper left hand portion. You can hit file, save, or save as. It wants you to save it and then upload it, which is step 14. Upload it, and then 15 wants you to upload for grading. Submit it for grading. Thank you very much, everybody.